like to welcome everyone to our first Borough Council meeting of 2023. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag
of the United States
of America,
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, just now on personal appeals. If anyone has a personal appeal, please state your name and what your appeal is, and you have 5 minutes. Now would be the time. Anybody here in the audience? Hearing none? Oh, we do.
You guys have an appeal?
And nobody online? All right. Moving on to community minute. Does anyone have anything to bring forward? Hearing none, we have no special presentations. We have the meeting minutes of December 19th, 2022. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve those minutes? Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilman Anders. Any questions or additions? Corrections? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes. We have no decisions on bids. We have 5 communications. We have a request from Rebecca Strauss for reappointment to Shade Tree Commission, request for reappointment to the Board of Health by Dr. Aaron Ratner, resignation from the Library Board effective January 20th for Sarah Charette, sorry. And then we have request for reappointment to the Vacancy Board by John Stover, who's been on that for maybe a decade.
Yeah, longer than that.
Longer than that, all right. Request for reappointment to the General Authority by Craig Neely. He's been on there quite a while. We'll address those later in the agenda. Borough Engineers report, we have none. Solicitors report.
No report, progress.
Thank you. Unfinished business part 1, we have nothing. New business and unfinished business part 2, we have nothing. Does anybody have anything to bring forward that is not on our agenda tonight? Councilman Hart.
Thank you. I have something I wanted to let council know about. That's personal.
First, we need to vote to allow it on the agenda tonight so that we can re-advertise tomorrow.
Well, no,
I don't think you have to. I believe I know what Mr. Hart is going to say. I think it's just an informative matter. There won't be a need for a vote, Mr. President.
Okay. I didn't have the inside scoop.
neither do I.
That is with mixed emotions that I tell you I've decided not to seek re-election this year or reappointment in 2024. I tell you this now so as to permit appropriate opportunity for orderly transition, hopefully enabling highly qualified candidates sufficient time to seek office in the election process. Serving on Emmaus Borough Council for what will be 5 years has been an honor and a privilege and a learning experience to better appreciate the wonderful community in which we live. I shall not be vacating my give back role to the community, but rather focusing my personal efforts on what I see as a higher plane of difference making, that of president and board member of the newly formed Emmaus Community Foundation, an organization whose mission is to fund through donations larger dream projects that cannot appropriately be the burden of individual taxpayers of the borough. I'm proud to have participated in some cases, led accomplishments realized in my tenure. Some have been reversing the decision of the borough facilities on Minor Street, and in turn refurbishing our beautiful historic Borough Hall at Central Flyer, creating a new position of assistant borough manager, new leadership in the police and ambulance departments, outsourcing ambulance billing, and improving parking downtown, among others. Do not expect a lame duck or non-engaged role from me in my final 12 months. That's just not John Hart. I want to thank council, colleagues for all your support during this period of time. I look forward to working with you in the next year. Thank you.
Well, that comes as a shock, John. I thought you were a fixture on this council, but thank you for your consideration and allow the public to have that option instead of finding out last minute. So, thank you.
As I said, I will not be,
Yeah, you're still here for 12 more months.
well, and I'll also be very involved in the mass community.
Which is an exciting venture.
I'm excited about that. And the public will find out more about it in the future. So thank you. Thank you, John. Anybody else with anything not on the agenda? All right. Mayor's report.
I have nothing this evening. Progress.
All right. Committee reports. We have Public Works Committee, Chairman Anders.
We did not meet in December. Our next meeting is January 18th at 4 p.m. via Zoom. And with that, I will report progress.
Didn't you change your meetings to 4:30? I thought you changed them to later.
I think we left it at this.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I just wanted to make sure it's not a
I was
mistake.
under the impression it was at 4:32.
Yeah, because you had asked me and Chad.
Well, let me see the official. If it's been,
It says 4 o'clock.
yeah, it says 4.
I'm fine with either one, but
We'll
I remember, I remember our conversation very vividly, and his concern, I told him it didn't need to be a concern, but his concern was Public Works Director and keeping it at 4 because of the Public Works Director really being done at 3.
Okay.
thank you, Shane.
If you want to move it to 4:30, we advertise and do
We would
that,
have to-
or later, depending on other things.
I'll keep it at this current junction. Thank you.
okay,
Thank you for the consideration, Mr. President.
you're welcome. Health Sanitation and Codes Committee, Chairman Balliet.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a few things for action tonight. The first thing is a request for security reduction at the fields at Indian Creek. We have a letter here from our engineers stating that K builders have met the requirements and they are seeking a security reduction in the amount of $230,523.92. I believe that you guys here maybe to speak about.
No.
No, nobody's here. Perfect.
I place that in form of a motion.
I will, and then we'll have discussion. Did not have a meeting with Shane this morning. Whatnot, but I believe that we have all the proper paperwork to allow this. to-
Yeah, we have the recommendation from our engineer, which is what we would ask for.
Yep.
So, we don't give out those approvals unless the engineer did his calculations and recommended, so. Which is the second attachment in your.
Yeah.
In your agenda item.
So
Okay.
motion by Councilman Balliet, second. Councilman Hart. Any questions?
My only question was, I know there were some improvements, I thought, for either crosswalk or the walking path. Is that,
There's still money in the security for that.
okay, that's what I just want to be ensured.
So it's only for projects that have been.
So remember, you only grant the reduction based on work that has been completed and inspected successfully.
Okay,
And so there's no liability on those public improvements in that amount of money.
And that's why you have the borough engineer actually submit those letters to Shane to say they've been out, they've inspected it pursuant to the MPC, it's already been approved. That's what it's really a mechanism you can't avoid. Once they submit that letter and the engineer approves it, there's a timeline that we have to respond and reduce it.
thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate the answer.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? There are 7 ayes. Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, all the individual appointments I will do on one list accumulatively. I'll read them all off. That includes some of the others that are under committees. Everyone's all right with that.
I'm fine with that.
The way you guys can do one blanket, unless there's individuals that you want to vote differently on, but if you want to just do one blanket nomination and vote, you can do that here, because there's a bunch of
I
them.
was trying to simplify it,
Yep,
so
so
Shane put a
any-
list together for us.
Any person seeking reappointment that was under my committee would have been would have been approved by
Okay. By the committee.
the committee,
Okay.
recommended. So you're gonna see some meetings notes attached from our last meeting. And our next meeting is going to be January 25th at 4:45. And with that, I'll report progress.
Thank you. Parks and Recreation Committee Chairwoman Baumgart.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have no items for official action. Our next meeting is January 17th for this month only at 4:45 PM. We'll resume our regular meeting time thereafter. Full progress.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee Chairman Hart.
Thank you, Mr. President. You can see meeting minutes from December 20. There will be some action items as a result of that meeting combined with some further action concerning the parking. We find that hard to believe given my committee's assignments. But, we'll be bringing those up at the next meeting for action. Other than that, I have nothing further for your consideration.
Thank
The
you.
next meeting is scheduled for the 26th at 9 AM via Zoom. With that, I'll report progress.
Thank you. Under General Administration Committee, which is myself, we have Resolution 2023-1, appointed officials. A rather long list, so I'm going to read them all off. Ambulance Corps Assistant Chief Adam Priest, Animal Control Officer April Shield, Assistant Borough Manager Sarah Jarrett Eaton, Borough Manager / Secretary Shane Pepe, Borough Solicitor Gross McKinley, Delinquent Tax Collector Norris McLaughlin, Director of Finance / Treasurer Christine Snyder, Certified Public Accountant Campbell, Rapold, and Urasitz, Civil Service Commission Solicitor Davison and McCarthy, Code Enforcement Officer / Public Works Inspector Robert Hammond, Earned Income and Local Services Tax Office H.A. Berkheimer, Deputy Director of Emergency Services Keith Miller, Emergency Management Coordinator Keith Miller, Primary Engineer Ott Consulting, Utilities and Alternate Engineer Hanover Engineering, Fire Chief / Director of Emergency Services John Price, Fire Inspector Ryan Crawford, Health Inspector or Health Officer Gary Ritter, Pension Consultant for Police and Non-Uniform Mock and Hop Benefits Group, Per Capita Tax Office H.A. Berkheimer, Police Chief Jason Apgar, Public Works Director Lawrence Carl, Sewage Enforcement Officers Jacoby A. Schrey, Gregory Gray, Christopher Taylor, Special Labor Counsel Campbell, Durant, Beatty, Palumbo, and Miller, Zoning Hearing Board Solicitor Ronald Corkery. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-1 or for our appointments? Councilman Bally, second by Councilman Hart. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes. We have the Emmaus Secretaries Union contract that was negotiated over the last quarter of the year. And the contract is on our iPad. It's a 5-year contract and it starts January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2027. And everybody was able to see this. It was agreed upon voted on by the Secretaries Union at the end of the year, correct? Right before Christmas, I believe. So anyhow, are there any questions on the Secretary's contract? Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the contract? Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilwoman McManaman. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes. We have the Employee and Volunteer Safety Committee, 2023 members and meeting dates. And to read all those off, not the meeting dates.
No, just the names in there.
All right, so for administration, we have Shane Pepe with the alternate Sarah Jarrett Eaton. Term begins 3/6/2012 and it's forever. Codes and Zoning, Robert Hammond. And the alternate will eventually be the new codes officer. And that is also, they are permanently on the committee. Police, we have Joe Longenbach, alternate Jamie Seltzer. Term beginning January 1st, 23 and expires December 31st of 24. So it's a 2-year term. In fact, the next 2 are 2-year terms. Fire, Chris Lubinetsky with an alternate Tom Carl, January 1st of 2023 to December 31st to 24. And under ambulance, we have JT Flieger with alternate Adam Priest, also January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 24. Under public works, we have Brent Reed with alternate Troy Bauer, January 1st of 22. Their term started and their term ends at the end of this year, December 31st, 23. Clerical, we have Teresa Pullman, alternate Sherry Palinkas, and also the same thing, their term ends December 31st, 2023. And then the meeting dates are listed here that will be advertised, correct?
They're not advertised.
Not advertised, okay. But are available if anyone wants to attend. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve that committee and their dates? Councilwoman McManaman, seconded by Councilman Anders. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes. The rest are some reappointments. I'm gonna do it the appointments for the various commissions and boards under president's business then. So our next meeting is January 5th, which is this Thursday at 9 a.m. and I report progress. Budget and Finance Committee, Chairman DeFrame.
Thank you, Mr. President. So you're gonna do the pension board appointments too, right?
Well, you can do that. That's under your committee. I have enough names to read.
That sounds logical.
Try to pawn it off. I mean, that's like me pawning it off my shirt.
That's exactly right.
I
So we
did
have
that one
the,
year.
we have the police pension board appointments. I'm gonna put this in the form of a motion. Mayor Leanne Gilbert for ordinance, Brent Lavenberg, council president, also for ordinance, Shane Pepe, borough manager for ordinance, Sergeant Kevin Schmidt, the union representative, and Carlos Marrero, union representative. Also, we have the employee pension board. Again, the members there will be Brent Lavenberg, council president, Shane Pepe, borough manager, Leslie DeLong, public works union representative, Yashira Bussett, right, Shane?
Yep.
Bussett, clerical union representative, and Sarah Jarry Eaton, non-union representative. So again, I put all those appointments in the form of a motion.
Motion by Councilman DeFrane, seconded by Councilman Hart. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes.
So next, we have resolution 2023-2. The bill list resolved by Borough Council to authorize the payment of the January 3rd, 2023 bill list as follows. Bill list $123,880.01. Payroll number 26, $157,622.63. Payroll taxes $54,114.21 for a total of $335,616.85 done this 3rd day of January 2023. I place that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Councilman DeFrane. Is there a second? Councilman Balliet. Any questions on the bill list? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes.
So you can see the significant revenue and expense items in there for December of 2022. Shane, it's not on the agenda for this coming meeting, but for the next budget and finance meeting, can you ask the auditors to be on that? So we can have our meeting following the audit. So our next meeting is Thursday, January 5th at 11 a.m. progress, and that's on Zoom.
Thank you. Community Relations Planning and Development Committee, Chairwoman McManaman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing for official action this evening. Our next meeting is Monday, January 23rd, via Zoom at 4:30. I report progress.
Thank you. Under boards and commissions, you have a library board minutes from November. And personal appeals part 2. Does anybody in our audience have a appeal that they would like to make? Hearing none, borough managers report.
No, I had previously sent you an email with the same exact information on it, with our end of year balances. We ended up right around where we had projected for the year, which is good. We're a couple thousand off here and there, and it's all easily explained. It doesn't impact anything. As far as what your rates and everything will be. So other than that, I'll report progress for tonight.
Next is president's business. We'll do all the various reappointments. Question first, the health officer. Gary Ritter, we approved on here. Is this different, the Board of Health?
Yeah, that Board of Health was just Dr. Rogers.
But do we have to do it again?
Just him. Yeah, the health officer is Gary Ritter, he's an employee. Dr. Radner.
Oh, Dr. Ritter, I thought.
Nope.
My apologies, I thought. All right, so we have, Shade Tree Commissioner Rebecca Strauss for reappointment with the term ending January 1st of 2028. We have the Board of Health, Dr. Aaron Ratner, for reappointment, term expiring January 1st, 2028. We have the Vacancy Board, John Stover, for reappointment, January 1st, 2024 is the expiration of the term. And then we have Craig Neely for General Authority reappointment, term expiring January 1st, 2028. Under Zoning Hearing Board, we have Theodore Yobst and Roger Steinmeier for reappointment, with both their terms expiring January 1st, 2026. Timothy Jones, who is a new member, will be the alternate with a term expiring January 1st, 2024. So that will be for 1 year. Library Board, Kathy Reinhardt for reappointment with the term expiring January 1st, 2026. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve that list of reappointments and 1 new member? Councilman Dufresne, seconded by Councilwoman Baumgartner. Are there any questions on the list? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes. Have nothing else? There's no executive session, correct? Motion to adjourn? Oh,
Something before we adjourn. I'd like to go back to the clerical union contract and extend my appreciation to Mr. Pepe and Sarah Jane for all the work that they did. We did 4 contracts this year, 4 union contracts, which is unheard. And fortunately, now we have them spread out, they're not occurring expiring at the same time. But it was a great deal of fun. And every time we had a meeting, it was Shane and Sarah Jane's responsibility to gather a lot of information, made it a lot easier for us. And I want to congratulate them. Thank you.
Thank you. And it was no easy task this time around, well, all the way around. So you know, again, to the committee and council members, thank you for your work. We had a lot going on at one time there. We were able to get it done. So I'm just happy to start the new year with contracts are signed. That's a major relief for us to be able to move forward.
I agree. All right, motion to adjourn. Councilwoman McManaman, seconded by Councilwoman Baumgartner. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Meeting adjourned at 6:26.